Ready, set, pop, to space. The most exciting day ever is about to begin.
In a big, colourful kitchen, bursting with the smell of buttery popcorn, lived the Popcorn Pals. Colonel, Poppy, Salty and Buttercup. Their home was always filled with laughter, silly games and the sound of popping corn. Colonel, with his tiny red hat perched just so, was the brave and bold leader of the group. He loved coming up with wild ideas and leading his friends on new adventures. Poppy was bright pink, always giggling and bouncing with excitement, ready to turn any moment into a party. Salty was the joker of the bunch, funny, a little grumpy and, well, just a bit salty, but always up for a challenge. And Buttercup, covered in golden butter, was the kindest of all, always making sure everyone felt happy and safe.
One sunny morning, with sunlight streaming through the kitchen window, Colonel gathered everyone for a special announcement. He climbed up on a salt shaker, puffed out his chest, and shouted, "Popcorn Pals! Are you ready for the best adventure ever? Today is the day we make history."
Yes, 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 Poppy chirped, bouncing so high she almost popped right out of her seat.
As long as it's not boring, Salty grumbled, but a tiny smile crept onto his face.
An adventure with my friends is never boring. Buttercup smiled, her buttery glow shining even brighter.
Colonel pointed dramatically to the sparkling night sky outside the window. "Today, we are going on a picnic, in space, to the legendary Popcorn Planet, where the stars are made of sugar and the clouds taste like marshmallows."
The Popcorn Pals cheered, their voices echoing through the kitchen, and hopped into their spaceship, the Pop Rocket, a red and white striped popcorn box with shiny wings and twinkling lights. Colonel took the pilot's seat, his eyes sparkling with excitement as he flipped the shiny switches.
"Is everyone buckled up?" he asked, making sure his friends were safe and ready for blast-off.
Poppy peered out the window, her eyes wide with wonder as she gazed at the twinkling stars. Salty checked the snack compartment, making sure they had enough treats for the journey. No adventure was complete without snacks, and Buttercup made sure everyone was cozy, tucking her friends in with a soft, warm blanket and handing out napkins just in case.
"Okay, Popcorn Pals, prepare for liftoff. 10, 9, 8. The countdown echoed through the rocket, and everyone held their breath. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pop off! They all shouted together, voices full of excitement.
With a mighty roar, the Pop Rocket shot up, up, up. Flames and sparkles trailed behind as they soared into the sky. The kitchen shrank to a tiny dot below, looking smaller and smaller as they climbed higher. The Popcorn Pals pressed their faces to the windows, watching Earth disappear beneath a blanket of clouds and stars. They were really going to space. Their hearts raced with excitement, and their adventure was only just beginning.
The Pop Rocket zoomed through the starry sky like a speedy little bug, its engines humming with excitement. The stars outside the window zipped by in sparkling streaks, making the whole ship feel like it was inside a glittery tunnel of light.
"Wowee!" Poppy squealed, pressing her face to the window. "Look at all the twinkly lights! They're everywhere, like a million tiny flashlights in the sky!"
Stars glittered everywhere, some big and bold, others small and shy. The sky was alive with colour, and every star seemed to wink at the Popcorn Pals as they soared past.
"Not as shiny as my salt crystals," Salty mumbled, holding up his favorite sparkly salt. But he smiled, secretly loving the view just as much as everyone else.
Buttercup floated in zero gravity, spinning slowly and whispering, "It's so beautiful and quiet out here. I feel like I'm floating in a dream made of stars and butter."
Colonel steered the ship with a steady hand, dodging sleepy planets that drifted by and waving at friendly comets with sparkling tails. He grinned, "Hold on tight, crew, we're almost there." "We are getting close, look, the Popcorn Planet," Colonel announced, and everyone crowded around the window, eyes wide with wonder.
Ahead was a giant, lumpy planet that looked just like a huge piece of popcorn, white, yellow and buttery, with golden swirls that shimmered in the sunlight. It was the most delicious-looking planet anyone had ever seen. Floating around it were strange, colourful shapes, round, pointy and boxy. They spun and danced in the air, making the planet look like a giant playground in space.
"What are those?" Poppy asked, her voice full of curiosity as she pointed at the shapes spinning above the planet.
"Those are the famous floating shapes of Popcorn Planet, and we're going to explore them," Colonel declared, his eyes twinkling with excitement.
The pop rocket landed on a soft, puffy part of the planet, sending up little clouds of buttery dust. The ground looked as fluffy as a pillow and smelled like fresh popcorn. The door popped open, and the popcorn pals bounced out, giggling and tumbling onto the springy surface. The ground was bouncy, like a giant popcorn trampoline. Every jump sent them higher, and their laughter echoed across the buttery hills.
Whee! Poppy shouted, flipping through the air and landing with a happy bounce. This is the best planet ever!
Salty tried to look cool, sliding on his sunglasses, but he bounced anyway, unable to resist the fun.
Buttercup glided down from a little hill, leaving a shiny golden buttery trail behind her, sparkling in the sunlight. Colonel planted a tiny flag that read, "The Popcorn Pals were here," right in the middle of a fluffy popcorn mound.
All right, team, our mission is to explore those shapes. Let's see what surprises Popcorn Planet has in store for us.
I want to see the round one first, Poppy declared, bouncing ahead. Let's go! Maybe it's a giant popcorn ball.
The pals bounced toward the biggest, reddest shape, hearts pounding with excitement, ready for whatever adventure awaited them on the magical popcorn planet.
The first shape was big, red, and perfectly round. It looked so shiny and smooth, almost like a giant balloon or a juicy cherry waiting to be explored. "This is a circle!" Colonel announced, puffing out his chest with pride. "See how it goes all the way around with no stops?"
Poppy poked it. The circle wiggled and made a funny sound. Boop boop pop! It was so bouncy it almost felt like a trampoline made just for popcorn. She bounced onto it, her feet barely touching before she sprang up high into the air, laughing as she soared, spinning and twirling with delight. The circle made her feel like she could fly.
Salty watched, then tried to bounce. At first, he wobbled, but soon he found his balance. A smile crept onto his face, and he let out a giggle as he bounced higher and higher. Soon he was bouncing everywhere, making silly sounds. Each jump made the circle sing a new silly tune. Boop, pop, wee, look at me, I can make it go boop pop! Watch this trick.
Buttercup and Colonel joined in. The more they bounced, the more sounds the circle made, like a bouncy song. Soon, the whole group was giggling and bouncing in rhythm, making music together.
A circle is round, it has no corners. You can trace it with your finger and never find an edge.
And it makes a sound. Every bounce is a surprise.
They bounced together, a happy jumble of popcorn on a musical circle. It was like a popcorn parade, full of laughter and music. After a while, they rolled off, giggling. Their cheeks hurt from smiling so much.
That was fun. I love circles. They go boop boop pop and make me feel like a jumping bean.
Okay, circles are pretty fun. I could bounce on them all day. One shape down, more to go. I see something pointy over there. What could it be? Let's find out together.
The pals spotted a blue shape with sharp corners. It looked very different from the circle, sharp and straight, not round at all.
Let's check it out. Maybe it makes a different sound when we touch it.
To the next shape. I can't wait to see what happens next.
I wonder what sound it makes. Will it be as silly as the circle?
Only one way to find out. Let's go, team.
Off they bounced, still giggling from their circle adventure, their feet barely touching the ground. Ready for more shape surprises, the popcorn pals hurried toward the next discovery, eyes wide with excitement. Scene transitions to the next shape. End of scene.
The popcorn pals bounced to a blue shape with 3 straight sides and 3 pointy corners.
Behold, a triangle. 3 sides, 3 corners.
It makes a new sound.
Whoa, triangles are tippy.
Listen.
So a circle is round and goes, but be careful, they're very tippy.
One more shape awaited, a big yellow blocky box. Their last shape was a big bright yellow square. 4 equal sides, 4 sharp corners.
This is a square. 4 sides, 4 corners.
Whoa! It sounds so strong!
This is a super square, not tippy at all.
Let's slide down.
Whee!
Each slide ended with a they slid again and again, loving the strong, steady square.
Every shape is different and each has its own special sound.
The pals chanted.
Now for the best part, let's make a shape symphony.
The popcorn pals split up. Poppy to the circle, Salty to the square, Buttercup to the triangle.
Ready? And a 1 and a 2 and a 3, pop!
The sounds mixed together, creating the happiest music in the universe. They played fast, slow, high and low, making music together. Each shape had its own part, and each popcorn was a musician.
When we play together, we make something even more special.
With a grand, the symphony ended.
That was the best song ever.
My square was the strongest.
But together we sounded amazing!
After all that fun, the popcorn pals were hungry.
Time for the Popcorn Planet picnic.
Buttercup opened the picnic basket, juice boxes, space cookies, and extra salt for Salty. They munched snacks and talked about their favorite shapes.
I loved bouncing on the circle.
The square was the best.
The triangle music was beautiful.
We learned about shapes and sounds, but most of all, we learned adventures are better with friends.
The pals nodded, knowing being together made the day special. They packed up, climbed into the pop rocket, and waved goodbye to Popcorn Planet. As they zoomed home, they sang. They knew they'd never forget their space picnic. The best adventures are the ones you share with friends.